Welcome to Oculus of the Wise. The most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest one. It is not the most aggressive one. It is not the one with the sharpest elbows or the most rehearsed answers. The most dangerous person in any room is the one who has been underestimated so many times that they stopped needing anyone to believe in them. That person is quiet. That person is watching. And that person, chosen one, is you. Here is what almost no one will ever tell you directly. What they called your weakness was your greatest weapon. What they called your passivity was your most precise strategy. What they dismissed as softness was the very thing that separated you from every person who burned out, blew up, or broke down while you were quietly evolving. And now, the same people who thought they had you figured out are stuck replaying moments they cannot explain, losing sleep over someone they once considered predictable. That is not a coincidence. That is consequence. Tonight, we are going into the 14 reasons why everything you endured, every test, every betrayal, every season of being overlooked and underestimated, was not a sentence. It was a selection. And by the end of this, you are going to understand something about yourself that most people go an entire lifetime without realizing. If you are new to this channel, subscribe right now, not as a favor to us, but because what you are about to hear belongs in your life, and you are going to want to come back for more. This is Oculus of the Wise, and we do not do surface level here. Number 1. Your kindness was not a personality trait, it was a live test, and you were the only one passing it. Most people think kindness is something nice people do when things are going their way. They think it is a mood, a social lubricant, something you offer when the environment makes it easy. But in reality, kindness operates more like a pressure test. It only reveals what it is actually made of when it is placed inside unfair environments, subtle power imbalances, and quiet disrespect. That is when it stops being a virtue and starts becoming evidence. Here is a fact that behavioral researchers and selection specialists at high-level institutions have confirmed. Emotional regulation under provocation is one of the strongest predictors of long-term authority and trust. Not charisma, not intelligence alone, not confidence, regulation. The ability to stay measured while everything and everyone around you is unraveling. That is the rarest quality a human being can carry into a room you carried it in, every single time. And here is the irony that deserves a slow smile. The same people who assumed your kindness meant you were easy to control were the first ones to panic the moment they realized it came with memory, pattern recognition, and a set of boundaries they never saw coming. That is when the energy in the room shifted. That is when the tone changed. Because what they called kindness was actually capacity, what they called patience was filtration, and what they called endurance was you quietly proving you could hold power without spilling it everywhere. They were never testing you. You were testing them. They just did not know it. Number 2, you shattered the illusion that they were the smarter one, and nothing bruises a prideful person deeper than that particular truth. They walked into your life with a map they had already drawn. They had you categorized, filed, and solved before you said a single word. They believed they held the upper hand, that they were pulling the strings, that they were the strategist, and you were the piece on the board they were moving. To them, you were predictable, soft, easy to redirect whenever necessary. Then came the shift, and it was not loud, it was not dramatic. It did not announce itself. You simply stopped reacting. You stopped explaining. You stopped performing confusion for an audience that had already decided what you were. You started seeing everything clearly, all of it, the patterns behind the patterns, the intentions inside the intentions, and once you saw it, you moved accordingly. No announcement, no confrontation, just a different quality of stillness. That stillness terrified them. Not because it was aggressive, because it was certain. Their tricks stopped landing, their manipulations lost traction. The emotional reactions they had been engineering never arrived. And when you finally walked away, calm and precise and without a single theatrical gesture, it hit them all at once. They were not the master of the situation, they were just loud, and suddenly fully exposed. Now their mind is doing something their ego hates. It is running a loop, over and over, like a song stuck in a speaker with a dead battery. How did you see through them? How did you stay that calm? How did you outplay them without them even noticing you were in the game? Those questions do not have comfortable answers, and that discomfort is permanent. Number 3. You passed because you did not weaponize your pain, and that is the rarest thing a hurt person can do. Pain is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology, and most people, the moment they are hurt, do exactly what their nervous system tells them to do. They reach for the pain like a weapon. They lash out, they retaliate, they transform their suffering into a performance and showcase it until everyone in the room has acknowledged that they are the wounded party. They turn their grief into leverage. You did not do that. You experienced betrayal, quiet disrespect, hidden agendas, and subtle manipulation, and you absorbed it without broadcasting it, without performing it, without letting it dictate a single decision you made afterward. That is not weakness. That restraint is the most advanced form of discipline that exists in human behavior. The people who understand how influence actually moves in the world are always watching for this. They watch to see who converts pain into control, who weaponizes it, and who has the rare internal structure to hold it without letting it steer. You answered that question without even knowing they were asking. Every moment you held steady under pressure became evidence of something that cannot be taught, something that cannot be faked. You could be trusted, not just with small things, with high stakes, real consequences and situations where most people self-destruct. Your restraint was not endurance, it was proof. Number 4. You outgrew the version of yourself they built their entire power around, and that is a collapse they never fully recover from. For a long time, they depended on a version of you that was smaller, more uncertain, more willing to absorb without pushing back. That version fit perfectly into the role they had constructed. It let them believe they were the ones with perspective, with control, with the ability to define who you were and what you would accept. But growth does not negotiate. Growth does not wait for permission. Growth shows up quietly, dismantles every assumption that depended on you staying the same, and walks forward without looking behind it. The moment you evolved, everything they used to maintain their position over you became irrelevant. The expectations they had about your limits, your reactions, your tolerance, all of it dissolved. You did not just exit their narrative, you invalidated it. And that, for anyone who had built their sense of power around a version of you that no longer exists, is a specific kind of terror. They cannot recreate what they lost, because what they lost was never real. It was a projection, and you stopped confirming it. Number 5. You enforced boundaries they had never encountered before, and it rewrote their understanding of who you were. Most people talk about boundaries, you live them. There is a difference that most people never experience firsthand. Boundaries that are performed are easy to dismiss. They come with explanations, with apologies, with the subtle energy of someone hoping their limit will be respected rather than knowing it will be. That kind of boundary is negotiable, and people who operate through manipulation can smell a negotiable boundary from across the room. Yours were different. Your boundaries came without a speech, without drama, without the need for their agreement or their understanding. You simply held the line and let the consequences of crossing it be their education. No anger, no ultimatums, just a firm and immovable line that communicated exactly who you had decided to be. That is the kind of boundary that changes how a room relates to you permanently. If this message is landing somewhere true inside you, pause for a second and drop a comment below. Tell us which number is hitting hardest. Your story matters in that comment section, and it may be the exact thing someone else needs to read tonight. Number 6. You revealed their character without exposing their secrets, and that is a power most people never learn to wield. There is a specific kind of mastery in leaving someone fully seen without ever raising your voice, without broadcasting their flaws, without building a case against them in public or in private. You did not accuse, you did not confront, you did not construct a narrative designed to make them the villain. You simply chose to exist as the clearest, most intentional version of yourself and let the contrast do all the work. Every boundary you held became a mirror. Every decision you made with integrity reflected back something they were not prepared to see. The evidence was not something you pointed at. It was something they felt every time you were in the same room, and a person cannot argue with a mirror. They cannot discredit a reflection. It simply shows them what is there. You exposed their truth without touching it, without announcing it, without making it a moment they could respond to or defend against. That is not accidental. That is a precision most people spend years trying to develop and still never quite reach. Number 7. Your silence delivered the checkmate they never saw coming, and they are still searching for the loophole. They waited for the reaction. They needed the reaction. An argument, a confrontation, a dramatic exit they could frame as an overreaction, anything they could use to flip the story and reclaim the narrative. But the reaction never came. The silence did. And silence, in the hands of someone who actually knows what they are doing, is not emptiness. It is a verdict. The moment you walked away, calm and precise, and without theatrics, it landed on them with a weight they had not prepared for. No breakdown in your voice, no grief leaking through, no final speech designed to make them feel something, just clarity, certainty. The quiet confidence of someone who had already seen the entire board, already calculated every outcome, and had simply decided the game was over. Their mind has been replaying that exit ever since, not because it was painful, because it was perfect, and they know it. And the knowing is the part they cannot escape. Number 8. The cycle they were counting on lasting forever ended without a single confrontation. Some people do not just want to win a moment, they want the cycle, the familiar rhythm of push and return, tension and repair, distance and recapture. They count on that pattern continuing because the pattern is where their sense of control lives. As long as the cycle continues, they believe they still have access, still have leverage, still have a version of you they can return to when it becomes convenient. You ended it. Not with a declaration, not with an ultimatum. You ended it the way only the truly free can. You simply did not return. You chose something they had not built into any version of their plan. And your absence did not just remove you from their story. It dismantled the architecture of everything they believed was permanent. The cycle they counted on was broken, and nothing they build afterward will ever feel as certain as they once did with you. Number 9. Your absence revealed how loud the chaos inside them actually was, and they have nowhere left to hide from it. When you were present, you were a stabilizer. You brought a quality of calm, clarity, and quiet order that softened the noise in their world. Often without either of you fully recognizing what was happening, they leaned on that stability. They mistook it for something guaranteed, something they could draw from without ever acknowledging where it came from. Then you withdrew. You did not create drama. You did not call anything out. You simply stopped being available. And the noise they had been successfully drowning out with your presence became inescapable. Every impulsive decision, every unbalanced reaction, every moment of insecurity that your calm had once absorbed, it became louder in the silence you left behind. They thought they were managing life well. They were managing life with you Without you, the full picture of how reactive and unstable their internal world actually is became impossible to ignore. And that revelation is one they cannot close a browser tab on. It is always there, waiting for them every morning. Number 10. The people who understand real power recognized you quietly, permanently, without saying a word. Here is something most motivational content will never tell you, because it requires you to accept something that feels uncomfortable at first. The most important witnesses to your character were never the people who tried to diminish you. They were the ones watching from the edges, the quiet observers, the ones who said nothing in the moment but logged everything they saw. And what they saw was a person who could hold steady under conditions that unravel most people, who could absorb discomfort without broadcasting it, who could navigate complexity without letting ego or emotion corrupt the decisions that mattered. That is not a common thing to witness, and rare things, when they are recognized by people who understand what they are looking at, are never forgotten. You did not earn their recognition by performing for it. You earned it by being consistent when no one was watching. That is the only kind of recognition that means anything. Number 11. You remained cooperative without surrendering your autonomy. And that combination is one of the most powerful signals of hidden authority. Most people struggle to hold collaboration and independence at the same time. They either give in too easily, losing themselves in the process, or they insist on control at the expense of every relationship around them. You mastered the space in between. You could adapt, contribute, engage fully, and still walk away with your principles exactly where you left them. That balance does not go unnoticed. It communicates, without a single word, that you are someone who can navigate complexity without creating chaos, that you are reliable and flexible, but never malleable. That cooperation for you is a strategy, not a surrender, and that distinction makes you the kind of presence that people instinctively want in the room when things get difficult. The kind that elevates every environment it enters rather than destabilizing it. Share this video with one person right now who has been cooperating with the wrong people for too long and calling it loyalty. They need to hear number 11 specifically, and they need to hear the rest of it. Number 12. You understood the game better than anyone who thought they were playing you. They thought they were the strategist, the one with the overview, the one running the board while everyone else reacted. They were not. They were performing strategy for an audience of one, and that audience was not impressed. While they performed, you observed, you tracked the patterns beneath the patterns, you read the motives behind the motives, you watch their moves repeat themselves long before they realized they had a pattern at all. By the time they recognized the scope of your awareness, the game was already over. You outmaneuvered them without raising your voice, without needing to prove anything, without giving them a single signal that you were 10 steps ahead. That kind of quiet precision is not something most people encounter more than once in a lifetime. And when they do encounter it and lose to it, it stays with them. It stays because they cannot fully explain it, and things people cannot explain tend to haunt them indefinitely. Number 13. The master key was never handed to you. It was always inside you. Everything that tested you simply made it visible. Here is the truth about influence, authority, and trust that almost no one accepts fully. It cannot be given. It cannot be granted by another person. Real authority is not bestowed. It is recognized, and that recognition happens quietly in the way others observe your consistency, your restraint, your choices over an extended period of time. What looked like your kindness was actually your capacity. What looked like your patience was actually your filtration system. What looked like endurance was you quietly demonstrating again and again that you could hold power without being corrupted by it. Every moment of composure under pressure was a brick in a foundation most people never build. You did not earn a key. You revealed that you already had one, and nothing anyone ever said or did to diminish you could change the fact that it was always there, waiting for the right pressure to make it undeniable. Number 14. You cannot be forgotten. Not because of what you did, because of what you refused to do. You are unforgettable because you operate at a frequency that cannot be copied, controlled, or contained. Every step you took with integrity left an imprint so deep that it lives in the minds of people who once thought they had you figured out. You shattered their illusions. You outgrew the limitations they built around you. You revealed truths they were not ready to see. You delivered a checkmate so quiet and so complete that no amount of reframing, revisiting, or rationalizing on their part will ever undo it. Their obsession with the past, the replaying, the returning to moments they cannot make sense of, is not a sign that you did something wrong. It is the clearest possible evidence that you did something right, something rare, something that most people spend their entire lives attempting and never fully achieve. You were not just someone they encountered. You were the mirror they could not hide from, the standard they could not reach, the presence that permanently raised the bar for what they will now have to measure every future experience against. You were never meant to be forgotten. You were meant to be the reason someone finally decided to take their own worth seriously. Starting with yourself. Starting with the understanding that everything you carried through the hardest seasons of your story was not a burden. It was your preparation. And what is still ahead of you is worth everything you endured to get here. This is not the end of something. This is the beginning of you understanding who you actually are. If even one line in this video landed somewhere true inside you, subscribe to this channel right now, because that feeling, that moment of recognition, that is what we build every single video around. Oculus of the Wise exists for the people who are done being underestimated and ready to understand the full depth of what they carry. Every video on this channel was built for you specifically, like this video, to tell the universe you heard it, because you did. And the part of you that recognized yourself in these words deserves to be honored, not scrolled past. Leave a comment below. Tell us which number hit the deepest. Tell us where you are in your story right now. The people in this community are not passive. They are awake, paying attention, and worth talking to. Your words in that section tonight may be exactly what changes someone else's direction. This is not just a channel. This is the place where the ones who were told to be smaller come to remember how extraordinary they actually are. You belong here. Do not leave without letting us know you are here. God bless you.